People's Radio United.
About Trump when it's been all this stuff has really been going on, just a little bit lighter form of the same fascism under Bush, Obama, and all the previous administrations, each one getting worse and worse. But nobody really fought back over Bush or Obama as much as they are now. Not that many people.
In my personal opinion, I would say that things get to a certain level of it's like, okay, imagine like a whole big family is having a Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, and they're all in the house, and like the kids are off in one room, and the guys are probably off watching football in another room, and classically speaking, like the ladies are all in the kitchen doing their thing. And I know this is a very stereotype thing, but a lot of families end up like this. And it's like, so in the living room, something happens in the game, and the guys get louder, and so everybody else has to get louder to compensate. And then like somebody goes, "Oh my God, did you hear about the wedding that's going to happen?" And so the kitchen gets louder, and then the whole house gets louder to compensate, and the volume just keeps going up and up and up until it's suddenly everybody's shouting, right? And I feel like that's kind of how it's been going. Is like a lot of people have been raising their voices for a long time, and the people that can hear it could hear it. But this whole situation over the last election cycle and the degree of unbridled, racist, misogynist, just unbelievably bigoted, Islamophobic, anti-LGBT, et cetera, rhetoric that came out. I mean, it was so bald-faced, in-your-face, crazy that you have all these people that was like they were snoring in bed, just like woke up with a start because there was a big boom outside their house, and they went, what the fuck, man? Oh, shit. I got to do something about that. This is my neighborhood. Yeah. Meanwhile, out on the street, you got some people being like, yeah, we've been here. You want to... No, you can join. It's cool. But, like, let's just talk about how to do that right, just for a second. You know, and that's the important thing, I think. When I talk about education, I don't care. Again, this is my personal opinion. I personally do not care what got somebody woke. When it hits home for a person is when it hits home for a person. There's people at every level that, you know, or every breakdown of demographic that came to the party late. And that's fine, you know, because sometimes it has to hit you in your own heart in a certain way to make you need to do something. The trick is to take a breath and learn from the people who already been there for a minute. And you know, it's hard sometimes to even want to take that breath because you're so angry or you're so just viscerally ready to go. But, you know, that's part of that conscientious observer thing, because, again, with the Women's March, we knew there was going to be a lot of people out there that had not ever been to a single protest in their whole life, even a really calm one. And we want to make sure that those people knew how to get in and get out and be safe while they were there. And so, yeah, you know, like, people are going to come to it in their own time. And sometimes it just has to get real loud right outside their bedroom window.
Yeah. Did we lose Steve?
I think we might have.
Hang on.
I talked his ear off. Oh, God.
I'll get him right back.
I killed him.
All right, we got Steve back. Sorry about that. So, yeah, you were just talking. I'm a little bit different as far as protesting.
You're a little bit different in general, I think. Just saying.
Yeah, I tend to be trying.
But then so are we.
I mean, people told me when we were protesting Nazis before. People told me I was worse than them because I'm always trying to get past the police line and get to these people. And sometimes I have support, and sometimes I have everybody saying, "Stop it! Stop it! It's horrible what you're doing." So yeah, it's pretty. People like we were talking about on Steve's show, both episodes, they really play a game with us about good protesters, bad protesters, what's acceptable and what's not. And that's a way to cause a lot of division.
And we need to put all that aside.
And I'm usually
I think that's just a recipe for havoc. I mean, seriously, there is always going to be somebody who disagrees with the tactic. There's always going to be somebody. And no matter what, like, oh, it should be peaceful, but not like that. Oh, you should get more excitable, but not like that. So, like, why critique?
Yeah, I know. I've had people tell me with a megaphone, like, if you're going to keep doing that, we'll shut the whole protest down. The police said you need to stop. And I'm like, who cares what the police say? Are you here to do what the police say? We're here because the police murdered somebody. Why are you going to listen to the police? And then they want to start this big argument publicly, and I'm like, I'm not with this. Whatever. I'll just shut up. You know, it's just I don't understand how this works, and it's always like that. I mean,
Well,
maybe
see,
I'm
and
a
this
horrible
comes back to,
protester.
oh, sorry. I don't know if you're a horrible protester, but this comes back to like why we make a distinction between the notion of legal observer and conscientious observer, because we're not out to police anybody else's tactics. We're out to see to it that, you know, shit goes down smooth in whatever way that looks like for a particular kind of action, that like whoever can be kept safe is kept safe. Whoever gets arrested or whatever, we know their names. We can figure out where they got to, all that stuff, you know, where a legal observer is concerned about the law. We're concerned about the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So like that's what you're saying is very similar. It's like, you know, we're here to protest the police. So why do you want to be all
Bow down for them? It's ridiculous.
exactly? I mean, but again, there's always going to be somebody who disagrees with a tactic. You're being too crazy. You're being too calm. Like, oh man, they've got a guy taking a knee. That's the wrong kind of peaceful. Like, come on. Like, within and without the movement, there's going to be criticism.
You guys, I've seen people
And,
hugging police, shaking their hands at protests. Like, come on now. These people killed one of us, and you out here like they your buddies and stuff. It's crazy. It's
yeah, and
insane.
you know that it caused a lot of strife in some of the. I mean, I got a lot of reports from other of the women's marches actually that in some cases, because you know a lot of again the women's marches were in many cases I would qualify them as rallies, not so much protests. You know, they were sanctioned, they had permits, they got all these people out like with their grandmas and whatever and babies. So I mean, it's a pretty safe environment because you know who's going to tear gas all the white ladies? Like, let's not play games about that. And in a lot of speeches, and in some cities, you had some people up there thanking the police for being all respectful and nice and cool and stuff during a protest there. But it's like, yeah, today, like last week or last month or 6 months ago when you weren't here, like this is not how it went, and you're like minimally hurting a lot of people's feelings by saying that from the podium right now. Minimally hurting some feelings. In fact, you're alienating and insulting a lot of people's lived experience by saying that in that way, in that place.
Yeah.
And I think trivializing the issue as well. You know, it's like it's no longer such a serious issue what the government is doing if we're like thanking the government for letting us protest. I mean, the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. You know, who needs a permit to protest? You can get the hell out of here with that. If I'm gonna protest, I'm gonna walk out in the street and protest. Whoever's with me is with me. Whoever's not, that's on them. I've never